I heard advertised on Netflix the Paul Tyson fight in a way that called it a boxing mega event, the fight the world has been waiting for. And I think they also called it, if not the biggest event in the world, something very close to the biggest event in the world. And while I want to argue, because I hate that this is what boxing is as a spectacle, I cannot argue that I'm assuming that Netflix is going to kill it with whatever it is that this fight is, even though it's the silliest kind of circus novelty, even though whatever it is, that the size of the gloves and the headgear and the rounds, that it's not really boxing in any way. It's a 58-year-old guy against an internet celebrity. But I do think they're going to sell out Jerry's World for that. Like, is that possible that they're going to get 100,000 people there like you would for a genuine boxing match during the heavyweight age? Like, what kind of event is this going to be?
I would sound old if I said it's not possible, so it's entirely possible because it's possible. Like, Dan, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I actually think it's going to happen. I think he'll sell that place out.
Are we worried about Mike Tyson at all here? Or, Dan, do you still think he's going to knock Jake out? Like, how are we feeling about what's actually going to happen?
He continues to be an underdog, and I would not want a human being of any kind to fight Mike Tyson. Like, if I would like Mike Tyson's chances quickly against anybody, but I understand that he's a betting underdog, and a lot of people are worried for Mike Tyson in a way I'm not worried for Mike Tyson.
I'm curious to see how it goes. I think we'll all work ourselves up into being curious at that point, and this is really accessible given the streamer that it's on. But a lot of the wind got taken out of my sails for this when Tyson couldn't even make it through a camp without a health-related type of delay. So this is going to be a bit of a sideshow. Well, a lot of a sideshow.
I feel like we're going to know 30 seconds in whether this is going to be fun, sad, like just all
it's
fake.
Funny, that 30 seconds is where I worry about Jake Paul's chances the most.
Yeah.
I'm more curious about like 45 seconds.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
A full minute.
A full minute
Yes.
of Mike Tyson trying to punch.
You think he just goes for it first minute? Like, let's just do this?
The odds are what the odds are for a reason.
If Tyson does not immediately go right at Jake Paul, punching as much and as hard as he can, then he will not win that fight.
If Jake is going easy on him, that's where the internet's going to turn on both of them, right? Like, this is all just a scam?
Yeah, what Dan is saying and Mike is saying, if Jake gets it to the second round, the fight's over. And I'm with them.
The way Tyson has fought his entire career, if he doesn't prowl and come at Jake Paul, even though Jake Paul has the size advantage, then you will know that Tyson has no chance in that fight. Where has that betting number gone? Because I thought when that started that Tyson would be the favorite, even understanding that Jake Paul, while not a top-tier boxer, is actually a legitimate fighter, can make a career as a fighter, even though it would be a very low-tier fighter.
I have it right now. Paul is minus 250.
So that number's climbed.
DraftKings minus 275 for Paul, plus 210 for Tyson.
So overtime, maybe because those numbers were closer the last time before the missed camp. But most people, Stugotz, I said at the time that fight was announced, I'm like, Jake Paul's an idiot. Roy knows what I'm talking about here. 58 or not, if you just watch Tyson train, nobody wants to take punches from the feet like that. Uppercuts that come. Nobody wants Mike Tyson charging at them at 58 years old or at any age.
I'm looking at the lines right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're going to take Tyson, there's only one way Tyson wins this match, right? There's only one way.
Yeah.
It's by a knockout.
First round.
Yes.
Right. So instead of betting Mike Tyson at plus 210, because I don't think this one's going to scorecards, take Mike Tyson by KO or TKO or DQ at plus 350.
You could take either of them just to win in the first or second round. Like, if you're just like, this is not going to last long, however it ends, you get good money on Jake Paul to win the first or second round.
There's going to be an entire generation of people watching that fight having no idea what Mike Tyson was.
That is correct. It's going to be – look, Mike Tyson fought against Roy Jones Jr. many years ago, and that was also sad. Like, wildly sad. But this is going to do numbers. Of that, I have no dilution.
I don't think it's going to do like Brady roast numbers. Like, I don't think it's going to get everyone watching this thing. I think it's going to do well for it's going to do better than most boxing matches do. I agree with you on that.
I don't know how much Netflix gives out that information because they tend to be very careful about that information, and they just speak in generalities. Like, they'll tell you that the Brady roast did better than any other comedy special, but they won't give you the specifics of the numbers. I'm assuming that this will be the biggest fight that Jake Paul has ever had and will be a wild success for Netflix as a foray into live sports programming. By any definition, if the Brady roast was that, I believe that this will do Brady roast numbers. It'll do better than Brady roast numbers. They can fill an arena. You don't think this will do better than the Brady roast?
I just think boxing is more niche than like comedy.
This isn't boxing. This is fame. This is circus. This is event nonsense.
But I think Jake Paul's numbers have gone down. Like, he came out of the gates hot, and I don't see, outside of us right now, I don't hear like SportsCenter's not talking about it. I just don't know if this is going to be.
You've just got 2 demos is all. You've got both demos. You got 18 to 34, right, and you got the people who want to see, wait a minute, I remember what Mike Tyson was. And Mike Tyson, if he's charging at you and you're in the corner, whoever on earth you are, you do not want any of that. 58 or not. Like, that's not something you think you can hit cleanly and hurt for 45 seconds.
Is this something that like an ESPN would be rooting against because it's Netflix and it's like another lane for live sports? So like ESPN might not cover this because it doesn't want it to succeed? I might be wrong about that. I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
ESPN covers best the things that they have partnerships with, and that tends to be pretty standard. They helped the NHL a great deal when they were partners with the NHL, and then it vanished from their network when they weren't partners with the NFL.
I bet First Take will have them on like either this week or early next week as like a hype thing.
Tyson Paul? I doubt it.
I could see them being on First Take. That's the only ESPN show I could picture covering it.
Because of Tyson, though, right?
Just because Stephen A. fancies himself a boxing guy.
Yeah.